Hello, this video is about adding and subtracting integers, and it's using a concrete method with chips. So getting started here, we have this problem, 2 plus 3, which obviously you could do, and that really means you have 2 positives plus 3 positives, and that gives you 5 positives. All right, the reason why I'm doing this for you is because I want you to get used to that. So when we push them together, we don't have any zero pairs, we have all 5 positives. All right, the next problem is 3 plus negative 5. So when we're adding, if you notice up there on this card, it says always try to make a zero pair when adding. So when we have 3 positives plus 5 negatives, which I'm trying to grab right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. When we push these together, we're going to find out that there are some zero pairs that happen. Zero pair. Now some people will say that the answer is 8. Well, yes, there are 8 chips, but remember, when you have integers, you have numbers that are on opposite sides of the number line. And according to the 7th grade standard, all students have to understand that when opposites are adding together, they create a zero pair. They add to 0, or they sum to 0. So in this case, 3 plus negative 5 is going to be negative 2. All right. The next problem is going to be negative 4 plus 3. Okay, so we're going to start with 4 negatives. The first number is always really pretty much what you start with. Whoops. There you go. And plus positive 3. Okay, so plus, you're just going to put the chips on here. Okay, the whole idea is to get to the subtraction part. And why do we keep change? Which I don't like that rule because it doesn't really show you what to do. So these become zero pairs. All right. So what's left after these zero pairs get taken away? It's going to be negative 1. All right. All right. So the next problem is going to be, it's our last one, negative 2 plus negative 1. Okay, this is just like adding positive integers. So we're going to have negative 2 plus negative 1. Push them together. Is it a zero pair? Nope. It's negative 3. Okay, here's the next one. Going right along here, negative 4 minus 3. Now this is where it gets a little interesting. Okay, so if we have negative 4, how are we going to take off positive 3? Well, that's where our zero pairs come into play. We don't have enough to take away 3 positives. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that, this zero pair, and this zero pair. And notice now I took 3 zero pairs because now I can take away 3 positives. All right, we're literally borrowing from 0. We're borrowing from 0. 0 doesn't always mean nothing. It could also mean that something is balanced. So in this case, that's what we're talking about. So if I take away 3 positives, and then I push together those two numbers, or those two numbers, 4 and negative 4, negative 3, I'm going to have negative 7. All right, I want you to notice that when you take these zero pairs, okay, take these zero pairs here, we're actually pulling out the zero pair, and then when we take away the negative 3, taking away 3 is the same thing as adding the opposite. Because when you take the positives out of zero pairs, that becomes negative 3. Okay? This is why teachers tell people to keep change. All right, my numbers are getting off the board here, so I've got to clean up for a second. There we go. We can edit this out. Negative 2 minus negative 1. Here's negative 2. I didn't put back my zero pairs, naughty me. Minus negative 1. Do I have enough to take away negative 1 here? I sure do. I don't have to pull any zero pairs in this time. So I'll pull away 1 negative, and well, guess what? I'm going to only have 1 negative less left. So if I were to take away negative 1, let's see. What if I were to do that? What if I were to have the negative 2 and then pull a zero pair in like this? And I take away negative 1, huh? Okay, so that's 2 minus negative 1. So say I did want to pull in a zero pair. So I'm going to take away minus 1. Now look, this becomes an addition problem really when I push these together. Guess what happens right here? This is a zero pair as well. So that goes away, leaving us with negative 1 again. So for this next problem, we have 3 minus negative 5. if I start with 3 positives, okay, I can't take away any negative 5s. So what I'm going to have to do is go to my 0 pairs. I'm going to have to pull them out. Okay, so pull them out real quick. I got to put them in there. I forgot to do that. Whoops. I can just edit this part out if I have enough time. All right. So I take my 5 0 pairs out. Okay. And then, well, look what's going to happen. If I take away 5 negatives, here's the 0 pair. If I take these 5 negatives out of the 0 pair, what does that cause the 0 pair's value to become? So if these go away and I took these away, doesn't it cause this to become plus 5 or plus positive 5? And so what is 3 plus positive 5? It's going to be 8 chips, 8 positives. Always put a comment in the comments below, all right? And here's the last one, 2 minus negative 3. Really quickly put these back up here in my 0 pair box, which we're not going to really need. So 2 minus 3. So if I have to take away 3, okay, 2 minus 3, 2 positives minus 3 positives. Well, I only have 2 positives here, so I can actually pull 1 0 pair, and that makes sure I have 3 positives. When I take these 3 positives away, guess what? I only have 1 negative left. Now, if I were to do it the other way and have positive 2, okay, it's going to seem a little more complicated, but just bear with me, okay? So if I say 2 minus negative 3, and see, I was going to actually pull 3 0 pairs down, okay? So what happens when I pull 3 0 pairs down? Well, oh boy, it doesn't seem so good. So let's try this. So what happens is that 2 minus 3, okay, I'm going to take 3 away. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh, well, what happens is that these 0 pairs, we didn't really need them. So that's 0 still, and that's 0 still, and look what's left, negative 1. So basically, when you add the opposite, you're really taking that number off of the 0 pair and causing that to become its opposite. So I hope this video was helpful. This is a concrete method of doing integers. I will try to throw some practice problems on after this. And yeah, awesome.